What up? What up? New Gaming Order. We back like the Juggernaut, bitch. This is Alex Lexis, Shinwar, Nelson, coming at you with a reaction podcast, which is not a usual thing we would do, but given the nature of our origins, where we love Street Fighter and all the details surrounding it, we wanted to do this. Now, this was Shinwar's idea, so credit. This is to credit him for calling this podcast today. But laying the foundation, I had a botched attempt at trying to be the first to stick a YouTube breakdown video up, but I did break it into 2 segments. So apologize for that. Nelson and I will kind of fix that on my computer's end. But with this, we're all gonna kind of delve into some theory as to why Chralie looks the way he looks. Some of the gameplay stuff. So I said a lot earlier, so I'm gonna give Shinwar the floor first and then Nelson. But Shinwar, what are your thoughts about the trailer?
Okay. I think the internet slightly broke today with this news when they released the trailer earlier. I was hyped. I mained Chralie in Alpha 3. And the only reason I mained him in Alpha 3 because he was the only character in that game that had a forward dash. Nobody else had a dash in that game except him.
Cheap.
Would you say cheap?
Having something that the other characters couldn't do.
Yeah. I was completely hyped for it. I didn't know what to expect in regards to the way he looked. So, you know, when you see the Frankenstein arm, it's stitched back in the shoulder and then I think a piece of his face. It looks crazy. I like the evolution. It's not like, oh, they did a Goken and just, hey, we just placed him here. He looks the same way. No, this man died, and we know he died after the Alpha series. And story-wise, you know, Chralie, not Chralie, Gal was looking for him. And I think he's finally found his best friend. And he might not be too happy. Same. But the thing is, we don't know if he's friend or foe. So.
Yeah, and I said that earlier today because, like, considering that move, that variation of the final mission from Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, he goes through Chun-Li, and then it looks like
it looks like a shadow.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Like, before I give Nelson the floor, I was saying in the video earlier today that I wish they went with the Shadow Agent design or look for him, but that would have been a simple palette swap. I think what they did with Chralie now is what they did with Evil Ryu. They reinvented the look. They give Evil Ryu the wound from Street Fighter Final when Akuma punches through his chest or whatnot. You know what I mean? So you can't just take it like a hot bowl of grits and just plop it and expect people to eat the same stuff. You know, you gotta flavor it up a little bit.
Well, if you ever notice and even think about it, Shadow technically has never been in a Street Fighter game. He was in the Versus series and in the comics, right?
Yeah.
So, you know,
maybe he was defeated as Shadow Agent, or something blew up in his face, or the ending of Alpha 3 was canon to what happened to him. You know what I mean? Like,
no, right. But if you look closely at some of his moves, like you said, the final mission, that clearly was the final mission from the Versus series, from Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. But yeah, no, let Nelson have the floor.
Okay, Nelson Del Rio, what's up?
My first impression of Chralie is like, really, they had to do this nasty, like, zombification kind of feel.
Yeah, it looks kind of gruesome.
I don't like the fact that they went in that direction with it. Like, it would have just been better if they would have just made him like, yeah, he did die and whatnot, but the insignia on his head was more than enough indication that he got brought back from some type of entity.
Or the Illuminati would kill.
Whether if it was the Illuminati or whether it was from Bison Psycho Power, we don't know yet. But it would have just been better. That's just my opinion. But as of the way how he moves and how fluid he is, it's a step up. He has a different fighting style. It's not like how it was before where he will put his hands up and go like that. He actually leans down and he's putting his shoulder
from
like
damage. Probably from
damage, or probably just because. And he has taken a lot of his moves from Shadow. If you did play him in the Versus series with the whole teleporting and being able to do more than one crescent flash kick, which Alex did mention in his video that it was like some Rugal type of shit.
Yeah. He does like Adele, Rugal's son from the later King of Fighters games, where instead of doing the genocide cutter with the lead foot, no, actually it is with the rear foot, but it's the way he brings it around the front, like an inside crescent kick taekwondo style. You know, so that was pretty interesting. The you know, the body English and how he brings it over looks just like Adele's kick. You know, so I think that's rather interesting. But go ahead, Nelson.
Yeah. So far as we can see, that there's only been 3 characters shown and announced for Street Fighter V. Of course, with the mystery thing that Bison is going to be confirmed in the game. Because without Bison, honestly, would there be Street Fighter?
Well, Third Strike. There was Third Strike.
I honestly think that Bison makes the franchise more known than people realize, because that's
as
like
the main villain.
Yeah, that's the main goal to go after.
Or Bison Vega is like the Street Fighter Frieza. Like, that's the most important villain in the game.
Well,
in the series.
He's technically like known as the only villain, because Sagat is not technically a villain. He's like in between. And same thing with Balrog and Vega. They only got chosen because of money. Like, money was given to them, so they was like, fuck it, you know, let's work for this guy that apparently is a dictator. Yeah. So that's really, Bison is like dead ass the only villain. Besides, you have what, Seth, you have Gil, and I think that's it out of the Street Fighter thing. Everyone else is just like rivals or whatever.
Yeah. Alright, well, now you have a Sonic Boom-esque character to charge, or, you know, like, I mean, does this mean that we'll see Guile? Like, how does this pan out? Because
Guile is in the game, period, because you can't explain the fact that how Chralie is in the game, and after all these years of searching for his friend, why would he not be present? Like that would be, like, stupid.
Now, here's the thing. Let's say Guile is in Street Fighter V, right?
He will be.
And him and Chralie meet up with him in this condition.
It's gonna be like Ken and Ryu. It's gonna be just like Ken and Ryu.
Now, you know, one thing that I'm gonna reiterate from my video earlier is the fact that if you notice the teleports that Chralie has, there's one teleport that brings you up in the air. That's similar to Chip Zanoff from Guilty Gear. I think that it's going to be Wesker. Yeah, I think that he might be a problem, because if you see the slow Sonic Boom, you can teleport behind your opponent. That can lead for a nasty trap. You know,
it's like Dalsim, though.
It's like Dalsim or Seth.
Yeah, but he's faster than Dalsim. You know what I mean? So the video clearly shows this. So.
But at the same time, that whole teleport thing that you're talking about, where he appears overhead, to me, in my opinion, that's just another way to say, oh, that's just a teleport dive kick.
Or, well, he did do a teleport into like a punching attack.
Yeah,
know?
But the thing is, it's still the general basis. Like, it can be used as like an overhead. Because if you've seen the part when he teleported, and I think it was like, what, jumping medium kick, I'm assuming, or jumping heavy, like literally it can cross up both ways. Yeah. And that's like gonna be like the infamous little dive kick, especially if you can like cancel it from off the ground and make it so that you could cancel the jumping distance from the ground.
Ooh. Yeah, I saw a little bit of different characters in there in terms of what they added. It's smart that they didn't just bring a copy-paste version of Chralie back. You know.
You know what's funny? I remember back in Alpha, people were like, "Oh, Charlie's the poor man's Guile," but Chralie taught Guile all his moves.
Yeah.
And like now it's like now he's just a souped-up version of himself. Chralie was always that cool, laid-back guy, and it's like, dang, he died at the end of Alpha. And now this man is back, and you know he even has
his official Street Fighter game, not an alpha or side story game. This is his first official entry into the main Street Fighter storyline.
Right. You know he has connections with Abel as well, right?
Yeah, because he was taking care of Abel when that body escaped and he's like, hey, I knew a guy, like, the rival cutscene. Guy was doing the sonic boom, and he's like, hey, where'd you learn to do that? And Abel recognized it, whatever. So all fingers point that was Chralie. Like, those are the only two who use sonic boom cheat techniques. So that should be interesting. I mean,
just his special moves, like you can see when he was doing his punches, you see the sonic boom on his fist as he's punching. Like, what move is that? The breaker move. What the heck was it called?
When Crush?
No. But it's a special move that he had in Alpha, when he would do the kicks and then he'll finish off with the back punch, and you see the sonic boom.
The rush move. I know what you're talking about. And he would finish with that backhand and
and you see sonic. So it looked like he had that. The half crescent moon.
From the
upside down flash kick, from the Versus series. So
and it looked like he can double up on a lot of those moves. Because
it's a souped up version.
Yeah. So I wonder what his element's gonna be. And Shinwar and I were talking on the phone earlier, where you saw he has a move that's similar to Brian's Fury's move when he lunges in and he grabs you. And then the electricity or whatnot. Maybe that's his elemental. Chun-Li got water, Ryu got some red electricity and black ink or whatnot. So that remains to be seen, But this is interesting. I wonder where they're gonna go with this. And being that Ono-san was even saying that they want Street Fighter V to be a lot more like MK9 with the whole story element, or like Injustice, and have it fleshed through. You know what I mean? It would be smart that if you play as a character, you play as Ryu, you get to a certain point, and then switch to another character. Get to another point, switch to another character. Like the Guilty Gear XR story mode. I didn't even touch it yet because I'm going to do a marathon. I'm going to go through that whole sucker. You know what I mean? So that would be smart for Street Fighter, and still have an arcade mode.
And I still want like the individual character endings.
And that's probably why they're gonna Ono wanted to keep the roster small, because quality over the quantity, and you can flesh things out a little more and push the relationships between the characters. So I think now with Chralie coming back in this form, they're gonna have to really explain how did he come back like that, why did he come back like that. The jewel on his forehead, definitely Urian and Gil. There's no question about it. Will Gil make an appearance if this is after Street Fighter
4? Three.
If it's after Third Strike, where are the other characters? They said that a lot of them aren't returning, like Juri, Hakan, a couple other folks. But until Capcom makes an official announcement, that's one thing. But I hope. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, just a couple things outside of Charlie's gameplay trailer. Did you notice any other differences about the game? There's a couple things that I noted down. One, the
stage more fleshed out.
It was
more animated people in the background.
Did you notice Ryu's crouching forward kick? They brought it back from 4. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so remember in the games before that, his foot, he would go like this.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's going this way like Street Fighter 4, his crouching forward kick.
Oh, okay. So it's not like Evil Ryu in Street Fighter 4 or the Third Strike version. They made it more like the traditional Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 4 style, where it actually leans into it with the lead leg.
Right. And the other one, he was using the opposite leg.
Okay.
Before. What else was there?
Well, they had that whole train transition where Chralie.
Well, actually, I think that was a bus. That was a bus.
Oh, a bus. I thought it was a train, but that bus thing, that's pretty cool. I think they're slowly teetering into trying to be like DOA with stage transition and such. So let's say he got knocked into the bus, and then the character chased him on the bus, and then you start fighting on the bus.
That would be kind of hot. I think that would be kind of hot.
That would be some cool
now,
stuff.
what did you think of the combo system? Now that it still looked kind of slow, but the way the combos are going, I don't know if it's links. I don't think it's chain combos.
I think it's a little less restrictive because Chralie look like a character in the past where you had to really be patient. Like Noble and I used to go back and forth. We used to have wars in Street Fighter Alpha 3, you know. And the only way that I can even have a chance to level the playing field was using Ryu and Xism, or was that the? Yeah, I think it was Xism Red Bar, where you know I would have the forward and fierce elbow, and that was my only way of beating them. You know that. With that, you know, you had that patient style, but this looks more like he could rush you down. You know what I mean? And confuse you. So this should be interesting. But Nelson, anything to add, I guess, with the stages?
They changed the lighting. The lighting is not as bright and crazy and neon-y as it was previously. Also, the game tempo has changed dramatically as well. It was very clunky at first. If you watch the Topanga thing show or whatever, or the initial,
the Taipei,
if you watch that, it was sluggish, it was slow. You can tell like a lot of moves were just thrown in there as a placeholder. Now, as what Shinwar mentioned, that he has his better crouching medium kick where he like leans in and hits you with like the tip of his foot.
Oh, really?
And then he can hit you with the fireball now. I mean, they're seeing the adjustments and seeing how the fans react on like its initial, you know, appearance and stuff like that. And I can tell already that the game is gonna take some time before it makes like its initial release. And
well, they're saying 2016.
That's too soon
Amazon.
to me. That's too soon.
No,
to me.
there was on Amazon. It said March 16th, 2016. Obviously, it seems to be a placeholder, but it's coming out next year sometime. That's guaranteed.
To me,
that's kind of rushed. That's really
bit,
quick.
Yeah, that's a little bit too
How's that
soon.
That's a whole year.
No, the reason why I say that is because there's not going to be that many characters as like mentioned or before, but don't make the same mistakes as you made previously with like
get it right.
With, like
get it
update
right.
after update. Just leave it as how you intentionally planned in the original plan that, you know, the executives and whatnot wanted. Just do it in 2017. That's it. Give Ultra Street Fighter 4 a little bit more time to
because
grow
they're still
on
supposed to. They said they're gonna support Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, because mind you, there's still DLC to come out for Ultra. I don't know if you guys.
It's just outfits though. It's from what I understand.
It's outfits and updated changes to the character, and I think like just like how Marvel 3, how it stopped like initially with the updates and it stopped like dead in its tracks. People learn how to grow upon what the game actually is and learn even still to this day from it. That's what people still need to do with Ultra. And just how you guys just now started lowering prices on Steam, the game is about to re-come out on the PlayStation 4. Give it to 2017. That, to me, that's just my honest opinion. It will give fans to slowly digress away from Ultra.
It'll let them salivate a little bit over it too. Like, oh yeah, you know, we're waiting for the game because it's Street Fighter. You know, they're gonna.
And plus, people are just now picking up the game, and now people have to officially. If you guys heard about the whole Evo thing, all the Capcom games are being played on PS4 now, so they all have to go out and get PlayStation 4 sticks and the game.
Except for Ultimate. Ultimate's on 360.
Well, that's a 360 game.
Yeah, but you know, with that, I mean, we don't want to veer off on that because I know we were supposed to talk about that on the podcast, but we'll probably have it on a separate date as to why they just went PlayStation systems exclusive for Street Fighter tournaments. But with that being said, it's like, in general, Charlie's look and appearance, his gameplay.
I bet you there's gonna be a costume or a skin
where he's original.
That's
sure.
what I want to happen, because don't get me wrong, I don't mind his fighting style, but that whole nasty looking zombie shit.
He looks like Victor from Vampire Savior, you know, or Darkstalkers, you know. But it's just, you know, they brought him back, but not exactly the same. They didn't want to just regurgitate the same character.
I mean, that's good. I didn't want the same character's movesets. Like, the appearance is something I have to get used to and just, you know, shut up about it.
You know, if you look at him, he still looks the same. It's just the coloration.
It's just the color from this side of his face, his arm, and a piece of his shoulder. Including with his
like if you look at one of from the video from I did earlier, I paused it. Like, it's like half his chest. Like it looked like he got blown to high hell. You know, so
Well, he got shot up in Alpha, that chopper shot him up.
yeah. But with things considered, like that's some. I mean, they got technology. You know, plastic surgery. They could have done something. You know, he had to come back looking all because
Really?
New Gaming Order. I'm actually looking at his you know, appearance. It's like he's still the same. He's still the same, just a bit unsightly. You know, I'm surprised that Capcom even took this route with one of their characters. Like
I like it.
have
I
a
like
gruesome look to it. I mean, it's not as like visceral like a was a Killer Instinct or Mortal Kombat character, but still, that's a first for me, I guess, in terms of Street Fighter, to have something so real like that, like questioning mortality in a character's iteration. You know, so it's interesting. I would say that you know, it's good that it's a first for Capcom to try like that. But those who are watching this or will see this on YouTube, if I'm mistaken, you know, leave the comments below. But it's kind of, think of like what they bring back Ken and he had like stitched together and stuff. Like, how would people feel about that?
I mean, it's the same way as you would speak about with Violet Ken that appeared in SVC. They didn't expect him to look the way how he did intentionally, where he had like the little puffy afro and people's like, oh fuck that, we don't want it. So they dumbed it down, made regular Ken, made his skin darker, and made him fight differently with the stance. Done.
Okay. Well, without for the sake of time, like any conclusive comments you guys want to add to it?
Just pre-order and get the beta access. I will be pre-ordering tomorrow. And looking forward to that beta access. So yeah.
Shinmore happy.
The only thing I can say is don't rush the game, Capcom, because if you do, I'm done. I'm not gonna play no more fighting games.
Like the Cobra Commander and Angry Joe show, you need it. Let me stop. But I would just say overall, time will tell. Time will tell. All right. So shout out to Full Screen for partnering with us, and shout out to Fighters Evo. That's another Facebook page that we are doing collabos with. Make sure you check them out. I'll put the link in the description below. They've been very good to New Gaming Order, so we're very appreciative of that. Check out NewGamingOrder.com, where you'll have all our archives, different pages, and you know, check out Shinwar's stream for Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I did a stream a little
right
bit
after
over.
this.
Yeah, that Xenoverse is the bomb. I'm loving that. I'm loving it so far, even though I only did the beginning part. But it should be interesting. So that was a smart move for the Dragon Ball franchise, instead of churning the game out the same stuff, same story over and over, but different. You know, it started turning into Dynasty Warriors. It's the same story, it's different game with different stuff. So with that, that's been our little response to Chralie Nash returning to the Street Fighter.
Nash, Sonic Boom.
Yeah, I mean, doing the sonic booms and spinning around like, man, you look like a DJ. Like, but with that being said, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the New Gaming Order podcast show. Peace.